Hello children, let me welcome you to the virtual class of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher. Children, we are in the middle of this COVID-19 pandemic, and because of that we are not able to go to school, but that doesn't mean we are going to stop learning. So we are going to do many lessons which are very interesting from your textbook through the virtual class here. So let us do a lesson in English today. Children, let us start with a new lesson in standard 10th English, and the name of the lesson is lesson number 3.5 from your English textbook, that is lesson number 5 in unit 3, and the name of the lesson is Unbeatable Supermom Mary Kom. Now children, if you think back to all the lessons that we have done in unit 3, all these lessons are about human beings and their qualities. Okay, for example, the very first poem in this particular unit was about the scorpion, Night of the Scorpion. In that poem you talked about the love that a mother has for her children, the selfless love, isn't it, the unconditional love. Then again in this particular unit we talked about a very famous physicist and a very famous cosmologist, that is Stephen Hawking, who did so well in life in spite of having so many disabilities physically. We also talked about Albert Einstein, isn't it? And we saw in that particular lesson how Einstein also was suffering from so many disabilities as a young child, and how he grew up and he became such a great scientist. And in the lesson number 3.2 we talked about the experiences that the author had with this great scientist Albert Einstein. Similarly, we also saw a very motivational poem about how you should have the will to win. Now this particular lesson also, it follows the path of all the other lessons in unit 3. Here we are talking about a woman who is a very famous, you can say, sports person in India. She has been an Olympic medalist also, and she is also a mother. So that is one of her roles that she thinks is very important in her life. So in this particular lesson we will be talking about Mary Kom and how and why do we call her as the unbeatable supermom. Okay, so come on, let's see what all things are supposed to be done in this lesson. We will be doing many exercises from the warming up part, and then we will go on and do the lesson. We will try and understand the lesson using pictures, and then we will do all the exercises which are part of the English workshop. So let us start by looking at this particular exercise, and before that let me tell you that this is going to be part 1 of this particular lesson, video number 1. So this is the first question. In the warming up part, find out the jobs which were done only by men in the past, but nowadays women too have started doing them. So in our society, especially in India, we are a very traditional lot of people, and there are many things which are considered to be solely for men, and women are not supposed to do it. And this is not the present situation that I am talking about. It is about the situation in the past. We have studied history and we know how Savitribai Phule has worked towards sending girls to school. So nowadays, if you are a girl student and you're watching this video and see, I am a woman, I'm teaching you this, it has all been possible because of the work of so many great people. So in this way, there were many other jobs also, not only the job of teaching and learning, but also many other jobs which were supposed to be done only by men. Only the men were supposed to do these jobs because it was somehow thought that women are not fit enough to do them. So which are those jobs which were not supposed to be done by women, or women were supposed to be unfit for this? They were thought to be unfit, but now you will see that women are progressing by leaps and bounds in these professions also. So I have picked up a few professions to tell you. You can also think of many other professions where you can read, you can watch on the internet. You might find many other professions also which were in the past only pursued by men, but now even women are making a lot of progress in those particular fields. So let us see. I would say the job of a mechanical engineer. Okay, you will find women engineers, you will find women who are doing engineering in the field of computers, in the field of computer software, and so many other fields. But then doing mechanical engineering, that is dealing with big machines, was unheard of. Okay, it was a women, if there was a boy, son and a daughter, so daughter used to be have the parents used to think that the daughter will grow up and become a doctor and their son will become an engineer. So the field of engineering for girls itself was not a comfortable thought for people. And then on top of that, doing something as physically taxing as mechanical engineering, that is dealing with huge machines, was a very, very rare thing in the past. But nowadays, if you see, you will see there are many women or many girls opting for the field of mechanical engineering. So this is one field. Okay, as per the searching which I did, I thought that this is one field where women have started making their mark. What about some other fields? See this. What are they? They are loco pilots. Okay, and this is a image from the Bangalore metro. So you will see here that these are girls who are actually driving these local trains or these metro locals. All right, even in Mumbai now, we have a few women who are driving or who are piloting these locomotives. So see, this is a thing which was unheard of, a woman driving a train. All right, and it's such a big responsible job, and will women be able to do it? Are they strong enough physically, mentally? These were many questions which were posed in the past, but they have been now, women have proved people wrong. Okay, see, this is how you will see in the background. This is Patna Junction. All right, and you can see a girl driving the train. All right, so these are all professions which were unheard of. Women were supposed to be not part of these professions at all in the past. And then you have these courier delivery, food delivery people. They were only men, they were only boys who used to deliver food, who used to deliver packages, because there was something called as a delivery boy. No one had heard of delivery girls. Okay, but now you will see that girls are also delivering. Now we have food delivery, many food delivery apps, like we have Zomato, etc. Isn't it? There you will see girls are also coming forward and being part of this profession. So in short, children, this entire lesson is about women empowerment. That is how women are progressing in our society. So women empowerment is one of the focal points of this lesson. We are going to focus on that. Okay, now when we talk about women empowerment, let us look at the images of certain very, very famous women from India, okay, who have been successful in various fields. So on this picture, you can see a collage of various faces, and some of them you might be able to recognize. Like for example, the first picture on top is Arundhati Roy. She's a very famous writer. And then you have Sania Nehwal. Okay, then you have the person that we are going to learn about in this particular lesson, Mary Kom. Then you have Indira Nui. So there are so many famous. You must have seen this lady with short hair, Barkha Dutt, on TV. She's a TV television news reporter. So there are so many famous women today in the field, in various fields, not only in the field of education, but in the field of sports, in the field of banking. Some of these women are very great business people also, business women also. Okay, so you can look at this picture and you can try and recognize the names of people who I have not told you. I've told you around 3-4 names. So try and see whether you are able to recognize or whether you're able to find their photo on the internet, and try and see what work they have been doing in the respective fields. Okay, so this is a small assignment for you. Now today we are going to talk about women. We are going to talk about empowerment of women, but we will talk about women in the field of sports in particular. So we are talking about Mary Kom today. The name of the lesson is Unbeatable Supermom Mary Kom. Now along with Mary Kom, you can see many other pictures also here. You can see Sania Mirza, you can see PV Sindhu. So all these women have brought glory to India in the field of sports. So today's lesson is about women, and it is about sports women, and particularly it is about Mary Kom. Okay, so come on. Before going on to do a lot of discovery about the life of Mary Kom, let us try and see whether India has been able to win a lot of medals for the Olympics, and who are the people who have been successful in making India proud at the Olympics. So the Olympic medal have been won by various people. Let us start with the first one. So Mary Kom has won us a medal in boxing. Okay, so that is the lesson that we are going to talk about. We will see Mary Kom's journey from a small village in Manipur to the boxing ring or the Olympic boxing ring in London, and how she won the bronze medal there, making us proud. After that, let us see some other people also who have won medals for India. So you have Karnam Malleshwari. So she was the person who won us a medal in weightlifting. Okay, now whichever names I'm telling you, apart from Mary Kom, this is one more assignment. I want you to go on to the internet and look up the names of these people and also what work they have done in their respective field of sports. Then you have Abhinav Bindra. He won us a medal in shooting. Okay, after that we have a sports person called Sushil Kumar, who won a medal in wrestling. Okay, and then we have PV Sindhu. You just saw a picture of her in the previous page. She won us a medal in badminton. And then we had Leander Pace, who won a medal in tennis. So these are the people who have won Olympic medals for India. All the Indian sportsmen who have won Olympic medals for our country. Okay, so this is about the general idea about Olympics. So see, we are talking about women empowerment, we are talking about women in sports. Particularly we are going to talk about Mary Kom and her Olympic journey. Okay, any sportsman, he's supposed to be on the top of his game, and he is supposed to have achieved the ultimate if he wins a Olympic medal for himself, okay, or herself. So let us talk about Mary Kom's journey towards the Olympic medal. Now before that, let us also talk about some other boxers and who have won accolades for their country. Now these boxers could be male, they could be female, and the country, they could belong to India or they could belong to any other country in the world. Okay, so now we have narrowed down in the field of sports. We are talking only about boxing. So we have Mary Kom, she was a female from India. Then you have this particular boxer whom many of us have heard about, who's a very famous boxer, Muhammad Ali. He was a male boxer from the United States of America. Then we have another boxer by the name of Jermel Charlo. He was also a male boxer, also from the United States of America. Then we have another Indian boxer, Vijender Singh, who was a male boxer from India. And finally, let us look at another female boxer, Natasha Ragosina. She was a female boxer from Russia. So these are the names of various boxers. See, if you go online and if you search, you will see many more names also. So this is a mix of some boxers, some from India and some from abroad. Some of them are males and others are females. Okay, so this is one more exercise from your warming up part. Now let us go and talk about the person that we are going to discuss in this entire lesson, and she is Mary Kom. So let us see what was the principle which worked in Mary Kom's life, or what made her start her struggle. So she said that people used to say that boxing is for men and not for women, and I thought I will show them someday. So this is the thought process which led Mary Kom to work hard towards her Olympic medal. So in the beginning of this lesson also, we did a small exercise where we saw jobs which were once upon a time supposed to be not done by women at all. Women in the field of, you can say, mechanical engineering or locomotive driving was unheard of. Okay, people could not even imagine women getting into such fields. So boxing was also one such arena where people used to feel, oh, this is not for women.
this is so physically taxing and this is so difficult, a woman will not be able to handle it. This was the common misconception. Okay, but Mary Kom, she proved it wrong. Now she was born on the 24th of November 1982. That is, now as of today, she is around 39 years of age, 39 or 38 years of age. Okay, so she started her journey from a small village in Manipur, and she reached the Olympic boxing ring in London to win the award. So come on, let's trace her journey. So her name was Mangte Chungnijang Mary Kom. She is an Indian Olympic boxer and incumbent member of parliament, that is Rajya Sabha. Now Mary Kom was born in the northeastern part of our country, that is in the state of Manipur. That is why she's got a typical name, you can see, but in short we will just call her MC Mary Kom, or we can just call her Mary Kom. She was born on the 1st of March, and the awards that she has won are the Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award, etc. Now Olympic medals that she won was, she won for a medal for boxing in the 2012 Summer Olympics. What is the name of her spouse, that her husband, her name of her husband is K. Onlar Kom, and she's got 3 children. 2 of them are twins. So one is Prince, the other one is Khupnivar, and the third one is Richungvar. So these are the names of her children. Okay, so she's a mother to 3 children. Apart from that, she's such a celebrated sportswoman, and that is why she balanced her life as a mother and as a sportswoman. It must have been extremely difficult for her. That is why we call her the super mom in this particular lesson. So before we go on to the lesson, let us understand that the format of this lesson is in the form of an interview. So after Mary Kom won the Olympic medal, when she came back to India, there were various television channels and there were various news channels, newspapers which hounded her for interviews. Okay, now one such interview you will be able to see over here in the print form. So asking her about her experiences and asking her about how she went on to win the medal and such things. Okay, so this particular lesson, it is not in the form of a prose or poetry, but it is in the form of an interview. So what will you see in an interview, children? Normally you will see questions being asked and questions being answered. So who will be asking the question here? The interviewer, who has come to take information from Mary Kom, will be asking the questions, and Mary Kom will be answering most of the questions. Okay, so come on, let's start and let us see what happens during the course of this interview. So let us start by understanding how the life of Mary Kom began. So this is Mary Kom as a small kid. Alright, she looks just as ordinary as the kids that you can see around you. She was born in this beautiful state of Manipur, which is also called as a jewel of India. So see here, this is the state of Manipur. The red patch that you can see, a small tiny state in the northeastern part of our country. It is a little remote, but it is very, very much part of mainstream India. People from the state of Manipur, Assam, Mizoram, we call them as the sister states. Okay, they have made Indians proud many a times, and you can see in the background, it is a very beautiful hilly mountainous kind of an area, and it is a place where the life of people is not very easy. Okay, people living in the mountains, in the hilly areas, their life is not very easy. So Mary Kom also had a little difficult life in the beginning. Okay, she did not have a very luxurious life because her parents, they were peasants. So you can see here a picture of Mary Kom with her father and her mother. They had their own patch of land on which they used to do farming. And our heroine of this particular lesson, okay, the star of this particular lesson, Mary Kom, she also used to take active participation in the activities of her parents. So she used to help her parents in the household work, and she used to go with them on the farms, and she used to work on the farms along with them. So her life right from her childhood, along with studying, along with playing like any normal children, she was also actively helping her parents, not only in household work, not only in other work, but also she used to work on the farms with them. All right. See, this is Mary Kom as a student in school, and here you will see how she started boxing. So in school she was not very much exposed to this particular sport, but it was later in life that she started discovering her interest in this particular field. And like we saw a few moments ago, that when people started saying that boxing is not for women, that is the time she decided that no, she will show them that how boxing can also be for women and how women can also win Olympic medals. Okay, so this was about how she had her early life. And then we will see this person who was a great inspiration in her life, that is Dinko Singh. His name is Dinko Singh, and he was the person who won a medal. And when he came back to Manipur, he was a Manipuri by origin. When he came back to Manipur, he was the person who inspired many young people in Manipur to take up boxing as a profession. Okay, so this is Dinko Singh, and let us see. After taking inspiration from Dinko Singh, Mary Kom went on to participate in the Manipur State Women's Boxing Championship, which she won, and that gave her more impetus, that gave her more encouragement to practice and work in the field of boxing. So she thought that when she can win at the state level, definitely she will also be able to make a mark for herself, not only on the national platform but also on the international platform, and thus started her professional boxing career. Then you will see she won the IBA Women's World Boxing Championship, and that was one more, you can say, step towards international boxing. So she stepped out of the domestic, you can say, arena, and she stepped into the international arena, and she won the IBA Women's World Boxing Championship too. There was no looking back after that, there was no stopping her, and in 2012 she won a bronze medal for India in the London Olympics. Okay, and here you will see her coach, Charles Atkinson. Now children, for any sportsman or for any sports person, their coach is like their mentor. Okay, they are the people who train them to to maximize or to make full use of their capabilities as a sports person. Okay, to make full use of their physical and mental strength also. Now this is, you can say, Charles Atkinson, not only training her, not only giving her inputs in the field of boxing, but also always morally supporting her whenever she felt weak at certain points of time. So this is the image of Charles Atkinson for you. And he was a person who was also very, you can say, had a lion's share in Mary Kom winning the gold, in winning the bronze medal at the Olympics. Okay, so that was how Mary Kom went on to become an Olympic medalist. Now children, we cannot read the entire lesson here in this particular format, so I will leave you to read the lesson from the textbook. The main points we have already seen. Okay, so open the textbook and read the interview, in which you will be able to get a lot of more inputs about Mary Kom's life. Now let us summarize and see what all awards she won. So she won the Arjuna Award in 2003. She won the Padma Shri in sports in 2006. She was a contender for the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award in 2007, and the Limca Book of Records mentioned her, okay, in 2007, and she won the CNN, IBN and Reliance Industries Real Heroes Award in the year 2008, Pepsi MTV Youth and IBA in 2008 again, Magnificent Mary IBA in 2008. She was called as Magnificent Mary in that particular incident. She was felicitated by Zomi Students Federation in 2008 again, and she won the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna in 2009. She was a contender in 2007, she won it in 2009. The International Boxing Association elected her as the ambassador for women's boxing in 2009. Remember, now all this is before she won the Olympics. She won the Olympics in 2012. She was also Sportswoman of the Year. She got the Sahara Sports Award in 2010. So these are all the remarkable contributions, you can say, or the achievements that Mary Kom could achieve in the span of her career as a boxer. And we saw in the pictures how she had very humble beginnings. Okay, she was not from a very rich, wealthy, affluent family where she could afford to, you know, just lay back and learn more about boxing and join boxing classes and be trained by using expensive people or using expensive setups. So she was a very, very modest, humble person from a modest background. So this is about the sporting life of Mary Kom. Now let us once again try to see what qualities or what ideas in this lesson have you understood by doing this quick, you can say, multiple choice question. So if you are able to answer these questions correctly, that means you have understood what the lesson was about or what is the content of the lesson. So what is included in the text? You're supposed to read the question and you're supposed to underline the correct answer. So what is included in the text? So is the text in the form of a story? It is in the form of a speech, interview, or poem? So it is in the form of a interview. Okay, we discussed that it is an interview which was conducted after she won her Olympic medal and she came back. Now here again, like I repeat in every video of mine, whenever we come to a question answer part like this, you should pause your video and try to figure out the answers yourself, and then you can come back and check with the answers that I will give you. Which state does Mary Kom belong to? Yes, we discussed that also, and we also discussed that that particular state is called as the Jewel of India. So which state does Mary Kom belong to? The state of Manipur. Who inspired Mary Kom and other youngsters in Manipur to choose boxing as a career? It was this person called as Dinko Singh. Okay, and finally, what did Mary Kom prefer being called? So what was, she was a boxer, okay, she was a woman, but what was the thing which she loved most, and what did she want people to remember her as? She wanted people to call her Super Mom. So that was one of the most important, you can say, things in her life. She preferred that people call her Super Mom instead of calling her Super Boxer or Super Woman or Super Being. So children, if you have been able to answer all these questions correctly, you have understood the gist or the contents of this particular lesson. Now let us do this one more exercise today before we wind up. Okay, and the remaining part of the lesson we will do in another video later. So go through the text again and find out the names of the cities and their importance in Mary Kom's life. So one is given for us, Kangthi. So what is this place called Kangthi? It is a place in Manipur where Mary Kom was born. It is Mary Kom's birthplace in Manipur. There is one more place, name of one more place, Manipur. So this is again where she won the state women's boxing championship. Okay, the state level. She won it at this place called Manipur. Then in West Bengal, what happened? She won the regional championship. Okay, so the Eastern Region Championship she won in West Bengal. Later in the USA, she won the silver medal at the IBA Women's World Boxing Championship, which catapulted her into the international boxing scene. Alright, so in this particular video, children, we discussed many exercises in the warming up part. We talked about women's empowerment, we talked about women in various fields of life, and then we focused about women in the field of sports. We discussed about Mary Kom and her birthplace and the beginning of her life and how she went on and took inspiration from people, and she went on to become a boxer, not only at the state level, regional level, national level, but also at the international level, and she proved her mettle by winning the Olympic bronze medal in the year 2012 at the London Olympics. Now there are a lot of exercises remaining in this particular lesson, children, but we will have to wait for it, and we will do those parts of the lesson in the next video which I bring up for you.
So children, now you have watched the video. So after you watch the video now, you will have to complete a few simple tasks. Now you might have watched the video on your computers or your laptops or your mobile phones. Now after you watch the video, what will you do? You will please go to the description box which is given below the video. So what is the description box? See, the description box looks like this. Alright, and after you go to the description box, you will see that there are a few questions there. Now what are these questions about? These questions are about the lesson that we just learned or the video that you just watched. So what will you do? You will think back properly about the lesson and you will try and answer these questions and note down the answers in your notebook if you want. Okay? After that, we have another task waiting. You will also click on the link which you will find in the description box to fill up the Google form. So now what is the Google form, children? It is nothing but a simple form. There are a few simple questions there about the video which you just saw and also about yourself. So these are the tasks now that you will have to complete after you watch each video. So children, wasn't that a very interesting lesson? I'm sure you learned a lot of new things in this lesson. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my video so that you will get to see all the videos which I keep posting regularly.